we have been looking forward to this for quite a while. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. I've been wanting to sit down with Stacey for a long time. We've just never been able to do it. Try to get her even on the radio show and stuff. But I've had Angela because I run into Angela all the time. She can't say no to me because I
Is
see
that
her.
what it is? Okay.
But anyway, I've been wanting to have Stacey on for a long time. Those that are watching around this area know Stacey well. Those that are watching around the country, friends around the country, this is our state representative, Stacey Wilkes, and she has been up at the Capitol now for, explain to everybody what you did to become a representative.
I'm in my third year, but my first full term, I came in a special election, replaced Mark Formby. He had been there for a while.
For a while, you mean like 100 years, Mark Formby? No,
well, he's not quite that old, so he hasn't been there quite that long. But no, Mark's been a lot of help to me since I've been there. So, but anyway, so I came in 2 years ago in a special election, and then I ran again this time so I start my first 4 years full term, but my third year as a legislator.
So you've been up there for 3 years. Let's back up just a little bit. Tell everybody where you're from.
I'm from here, born and raised here, and love it here. Don't plan on going anywhere else.
You went to Picayune?
Went to Picayune, and then I did 2 years at PRCC, got my associates there, and I went to USM.
So you were what is it, USM Eagles?
Golden Eagle.
Golden Eagle.
Yep.
Lori graduated from Southern Miss too. All right, so you went to Southern Miss, and you said you were in the insurance business.
That's my
Is
background.
That
Yep.
Background insurance. Yep. And then you've been up at for 3 years as our state senator. I got to ask you something, and I've never asked Angela this, but I want to ask you this. What is, since you're fresh and new still to this, what is the most enjoyable thing about being a state representative? What's the most fun about it you enjoy?
Helping people. A lot of things that we help people with, we shouldn't have to help people with. They should be able to get the assistance that they need, but sometimes they can't. So knowing that we can step in and help and help people who truly need help, that's the most meaningful thing to me.
Well, let me tell you something, and everybody will attest to this. You and Angela both are the hardest working women up there. I'm telling you, probably the hardest working male or female up there. And we do appreciate it, Stacey. We really do appreciate what all y'all do. And all the, it takes a lot of extra time to read those bills and to read all that and to keep up with all the different details. And it just takes special people to be able to do that. And we appreciate y'all putting in all those hours.
Thank you. It's an honor to serve.
So, that's the most fun part about being a state representative. What is some of the more difficult things, would you say, that's not so fun?
Just the politics of it. How politics play, and we've seen a lot of that in the coronavirus with some of this, but just when politics get in the way of good legislation and things happening that should, that's what's the hardest sometimes to accept, and a lot of times knowing that what we're standing for is right, but sometimes you just can't change it, and that's tough sometimes.
So even with the federal government, on the federal level, we see all that politics, and even
but it's here too.
Level,
it's here too.
We're not as bad as the federal level, but
it's here too.
But the politics are dealing with all that. Okay. Well, those that follow politics know that this year, being an election of a governor, usually our representatives are up there for about 3 months or so. But on an election year of a governor, it goes to 4 months. Which now, with the COVID and all that going on, y'all may get done by Christmas. It looks like. But y'all. How did that go down in March how did you hear about, I know y'all were in session. Y'all go back, the first week of January, around the second week of January?
It's the first Tuesday in January after the new year.
In January, so we were to March, like the first week of March. How'd that go down when they told y'all we're shutting down, y'all are going on?
Well, we had heard rumors based on how it was spreading, and that they were recommending only small groups of people, be together. And there's well over 200 people in the Capitol with 122 representatives, 52 senators, and then you have staff and lobbyists, employees, and it's just a lot of people in that space. And we'd been hearing rumblings, but we didn't know really what was going to take place. So we go in I believe it was a Friday morning, might have been Thursday morning, but a Friday morning, and they just said that we're going to adjourn. And I think they adjourned for like 2 weeks and said we're going to assess the situation, and that 2 weeks turned into a lot longer.
So does that come down from the governor? Does he make that decision, or
the speaker and the lieutenant governor?
Speaker and lieutenant governor make that decision.
Yep.
That's interesting. I wanted to know that.
Yep.
So y'all went back last week, cranked it back up. So now, if y'all can get everything done, you're looking at 1st of July. But like I said, that's just hoping and praying.
Yeah, we're hoping to finish at the end of June, but it'll just depend. A lot of bills are going to die. Part of it is because of time. A lot of it is because of money. A lot of the legislation that the House passed and that the Senate passed before we swap chambers, we're going to require funds, and so
there's no funds.
There's no funds.
And that's the thing that I was talking to Angela with last Sunday. I mean, I heard the number on Super Talk this week of the projected budget falls for the state, and that was a June to June kind of. They were explaining that it wasn't really a January to January. But
right, our fiscal year ends at the end of June.
The fiscal year ends at the end of June, y'all, and the number that I heard was just I couldn't even wrap my head around the budget falls for this year now that's ending in June, and what we're going into next year will possibly and probably be worse than last year, because of the businesses that are failing and trying to keep. So one of y'all's biggest jobs is trying to figure this budget out when you get back.
Right.
Without the money that's usually there.
Exactly. So what we're trying to do is wait. We're trying to do our general bills right now, and we did some dummy bills for the appropriations. They don't have any real numbers in them. That'll all go to conference and get squared away, and that won't happen until mid-June because we want the numbers to come in before and kind of get as accurate a view as we can of what we have or what we don't have.
And another thing that y'all are going to have to do, we're going to talk about just a second here on the small business loans, but as most of y'all know, the states were given money from the federal government based on population and things, and so we got $1.25 billion with a B for the state of Mississippi. And y'all's job as reps and the state senate is to figure out how to spend that money, where appropriately to spend that money, and what is, what I can't comprehend all this. I just can't comprehend all of it, Stacey. But that much money and trying to figure it out and legally do it to where the federal government guidelines are all abided for. You can't just go in there and start writing checks and sending money.
Exactly. Exactly.
Y'all have to have not just checks and balances, but you got to make sure y'all follow all the guidelines that the federal government sends with that money.
Right. And one of the things that somebody had mentioned Idaho to me, I'd heard it somewhere, so I went and I looked up the Idaho plan and dug through it, and I liked the Idaho plan that they had because Idaho, number one, gave more to small businesses than most other states, and I feel like our small businesses need help, and we need to put that in the private sector instead of giving it to government. And Idaho got the same amount of money as we did, and they also have about the same population as we did. So having all those things in common, we were in a meeting for small businesses, and I presented the Idaho plan and told them we didn't have to reinvent the wheel. We could look at what Idaho did, copy the things that we liked, and change the things that we don't like, and that saved us a whole lot of time instead of having to start from scratch with all the ideas we had. So that's what we did. We took the Idaho plan, except we used part of that, and that's where we went from the small business and the things we did that. But what we did that Idaho did not do was on the second part, where we did the $2,000 to every business within those NAIC codes, which are mainly your barbers and cosmetologists, restaurants, gyms, dance studios, things like that. There was no application. They're going to get those funds automatically, and Idaho did not do that, but we did do that.
So y'all got the governor to sign and passed a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
The 300.
It's $300 million.
That's going to help small businesses, and there's a couple of guidelines to that for small businesses.
Yes.
But you immediately get like 2,000.
If you're under certain codes in that Senate bill that we passed, there's some NAIC codes, and they're mostly, like I said, for the gyms and dance studios, cosmetologists, restaurants, people who were required by the government to shut down. And if you're in one of those codes, you should receive $2,000. And those checks, I'm told, are supposed to be cut next week or in the mail next week, so hopefully they will get those out soon.
Get those out.
And
along with that, can't you get like $500 per employee up to $25,000?
Okay, yes, that's on the other half of this plan that we did, and the website for that should be up and running in about 2 weeks. So as soon as that's up and running, I will let y'all know, and y'all can get apply for that. The first, I can't remember, it's 14 days or 21 days, I believe it's 21, are reserved for minority businesses and also businesses who did not get any PPP or a small business
I
loan.
believe 70 million, I think, was earmarked for minority businesses out of that money to help minority. 40 or
I think it's
70,
40.
was helped to do that. So, all right. So let's look here. We've got the budget to handle. We've got the small business thing is finally getting that ball rolling. I can't imagine trying to get all that website up going and all that going where everybody can get their money. But we're hoping to get that relief to small businesses in the next 30 days, where they can try to recover from this.
Absolutely.
What are you hearing on the state up there as far as? I know this is a national figure, but I heard there was around 500,000 restaurants in the country. I believe I heard, and right now they're figuring that we may lose 180 to 200,000 of those if we don't recover faster than what we're recovering. What are you hearing in the state level? Have you heard anything about
I
small
haven't.
businesses and how they're doing?
You know, it just kind of depends. I mean, it's really hard because they can only do 50% capacity, you know, now and stuff. But people are ready to get out. People are frequenting businesses and stuff, and some are had plans and are up and going before others. But we got to get some assistance out there and help our small businesses, because that's the backbone of this country, and we got to help our mom and pop businesses and get them up and running.
I know we have. You know, I try to do my best to keep our local restaurants in business, and try to eat out as much as Lord will let me. But
me too.
You know, I know that there was a lot of hairdressers and barbers last week that were excited.
I was excited
To get back a week, and let me just tell all y'all, we're all excited too to see all y'all getting your hair done and all that stuff too. No, but I went to my barber and it was interesting, you know, and the one, you know, a lot of these have had to change. You know, everything's changed. We've talked about that, but even, you know, a lot of the cosmetologists, you know, they have done appointments for years. But a lot of these barber shops that are on every corner, people just walk in and out, and they've had to change the way they do business to appointments.
Yeah.
You can't just do the walk in and walk out no more. You know, just a lot of things like that we're so used to doing. Those days are gone, it seems like. All right, so what else we got going on up there, Representative, this spring? Anything else that we've left out?
Well, we'll just go back, and we're trying to get our general bills passed and then look at the budget, and we're not sure if we're going to stay really in session. The House passed a resolution to extend session for 30 days, every 30 days until the end of December. So we're waiting on the Senate to see if they're going to pass that, and the reason is because of these CARES Act funds that we have to spend those by the end of the year. So we didn't want to have to come in with special sessions, and we can just come back when there's a need and spend that money and get it out to where it needs to go through the end of the year. But so
and
that's a possibility.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but I found this very interesting this week, and I was listening and reading some about our state politics. You know, our senators and representatives, they're used to and scheduled to, you know, most of them, a lot of them, or pretty much all of them, are self-employed or own businesses or through that, and so they schedule their year to go in January and come out in April and adjust their business for that. Now, that's all changed, and so for the next 2 months, possibly 2.5, whatever, to get done with this, their year has been flip-flopped, and now they're losing business for the next, they're hurting because they're not there to oversee it for the next 2 months, you know.
Yep.
We need to be praying for our legislators and that their lives have been changed majorly by this, you know. They don't make very much doing this, but now some of them are going to suffer financially because they've got to get all this done and don't really know how long it's going to take to get all this done. And they're going to be hurting with their income through their businesses for the next couple of months. So we need to support our legislators and pray for them and encourage them. Send them how about send them a positive email? Says we appreciate you, you know.
I will say, that's one thing I will say from the people here in, you know, Pearl River County. I know Senator Hill and I both, we have gotten so much support from our community, and we really truly appreciate it. And we hear so many legislators back home that get complaints all the time, and people are complaining, but we don't really have that. And I know you can't make everybody happy, but I try to tell, you know, people like it is. Sometimes they don't like what I have to say, but I'm just honest, and I work hard and try to help people. And I think we just have a great great people here, and most of them are very appreciative, and that's great to makes you feel good that you're appreciated.
We do appreciate y'all, and let's see, how can I put this tactfully?
I think I'm in trouble.
I believe you and Senator Hill will pretty much speak your mind and follow your heart and follow what the Lord tells you to do.
We have people in the Capitol all the time that say, we don't know what's in the water down there in Pearl River County, but we wish we had some in our districts. So
well, we do appreciate that. We're so thankful that y'all are out. I mean, not outspoken in a bad way, but you know what I'm saying, y'all are on top of things, and y'all will speak what you feel led to speak, and y'all are very educated on these bills and things, and that's exciting for us down here to know that we've got that representation up there. So we do appreciate y'all very much. And Stacey, is there anything else that we've left out? Anything you want to say to the folks?
No, it's just we need your prayers. We have a lot of difficult decisions with the budget coming up and things like that. Still, things aren't back to normal. More people are getting out and stuff, and we need to get out and support our businesses and get back to normal. But at the same time, this virus is real, and we do need to protect those with the compromised immune system and our elderly, and do what we can for those as we get back and try to get back to normal.
And we talked a little bit about that. The numbers are encouraging.
Very encouraging.
The numbers of people that are in COVID beds and those that are on ventilators, and the numbers have flatlined and even going down. Even in our county, I know we still got some cases, but it's been encouraging to see those numbers.
We are not one of the hot spots anymore, and that's great. Some of these other places have some hot spots, but we're not. So hopefully we've seen the worst of it, and can get back to hopefully we'll get back to normal. I hope this isn't the new normal, as people keep saying. I hope it's not.
It's not. We're gonna move forward.
I think so too.
Y'all that are in risk factors, y'all stay home. We're gonna keep the economy going.
Brad's gonna bring you whatever you need, so just holler at Brad. Brad will take care of you.
Just call me, and I'll make sure Brother Dan takes care of it. Hey, thank you, Stacey, so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate all that you do for us. And
thank you. It's an honor to serve. I appreciate you having me on.
Today.
Thank you for the lemonade.
You're welcome.